Tips from the ER. Shaving down under. It's always a pain getting ready for a first date. You haven't been with anyone in years, and you want to make sure everything downstairs looks presentable in case things get a little frisky tonight. You go to the bathrooms to start shaving the goods, and you cut yourself. Now you're sitting in the ER waiting room bleeding all over the chairs, wondering how you're gonna die alone. Luckily, this doesn't have to be you, motherfuckers! With the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Get the best technology ball shaving has to offer, complete with LED spotlight, and it's waterproof, so you never have to miss a date again. I just used it, and I feel great. Hi, ma'am. So sorry to bother you, but we need to recheck your blood pressure. You know, you remind me of my third husband. Third husband? Wow. I'm flattered. How many have you had? 2. Tips from the ER. Snake bites. I know how easy it is to freak the fuck out after you've been bitten by a snake, but that's exactly what you're not gonna do, motherfuckers. If that bite is poisonous and you start to panic, your heart's gonna beat faster, causing that venom in your blood to circulate further throughout your body, slowly killing you. Just try to hold that infected area still to keep the poison from spreading and call for help. If not, you're gonna start to feel weak, shortness of breath, nauseous, and a whole lot of fucking pain. But no matter what you feel, remember, do not use your mouth to try to suck out the venom. Your mouth is such a disgusting place, you're likely to do more harm than good. Just keep the mouth-sucking activities for another night and get your ass to the ER for some life-saving snake bite medication. Hopefully you remember what it looked like.
It's those times when you have no doubt, the waves that go above, your 2 feet still standing up, it still takes the lemonade.
Tips from the ER. You should get vaccinated. Yes, of course, you can still get COVID-19 even if you're vaccinated. The same way you can still get pregnant if you use birth control, and the same way you can still die from a car accident if you use a seatbelt. But that doesn't mean you're not going to use the birth control or the seatbelt. The vaccine is not a cure, motherfuckers. It is a layer of protection. Up to 95%. 95% is not 100%. They've been telling you this since day one. You can still get COVID-19 even if you're vaccinated. We didn't kill the virus. It's still very much there. But the vaccine helps protect you from developing severe symptoms from the virus, so you don't die. It also reduces the risk of you spreading the virus, so other people don't die. Did you think about that? Of course not, you selfish fuck. There are people around the world who would give up their left nut for a vaccine shot, and you're worried that it's some government scheme to microchip and track you? They're tracking you through your phones, motherfuckers! Get your vaccine shots! Tips from the ER. DNR. Normally, when a patient's heart stops working, we immediately jump on top of them to do CPR. But if you have a DNR, we're not doing any of that shit. A DNR is a legal document that says if you want to die, we're not going to stop you. DNR stands for Do Not Resuscitate, and it can be signed into effect by you, your doctor, or a family member. So let's hope your family loves you. Wouldn't want them to sign your DNR while you're unconscious with a whole lot of life left to live. I'm just kidding, motherfuckers. We wouldn't let them do that to you. DNRs are saved and decided on for people who are at the end or near the end of their life. So if you're a healthy 22-year-old, too bad, you're not getting one. DNRs are typically for people who are extremely old, have a terminal illness, or got super unlucky in an accident. Resuscitation is so brutal on the human body, sometimes it can do more harm than good. So if someone wants to peacefully go, we should let them go. Tips from the ER. Lifeflight. Sometimes medical emergencies happen in the most inconvenient places. Whether you crash your bike in the middle of the forest, break your leg hiking to the top of the mountain, or get stabbed by a swordfish swimming on the coast. We gotta get you to an ER, and fast. But if an ambulance can't get to you, what can? I'll tell you what can. A big-ass motherfucking helicopter, aka Lifeflight. If one of these are being called for you, you'll know you're pretty fucked, and they're not cheap, so let's hope insurance covers it. Sometimes you'll even see them in the middle of the highway. That's when an ambulance crew decides their patient needs a higher level of care. Unlike an ambulance, which typically holds a paramedic and EMT, lifeflight will hold any two combinations of nurses, doctors, medics, and respiratory therapists, along with their trusty pilot. But let's hope you never have to meet any of them. Tips from the ER. Intubations. It's what happens when your body says, fuck it, I'm tired of breathing. We have to stick a tube down your throat into your lungs to manually give you some oxygen. We start with a big fancy blade that pops open your throat and helps guide that life-saving tube into your lungs, while at the same time avoiding that second hole in your throat that goes straight into your stomach. That's right, motherfuckers! You got two holes, and God only intended for us to put it in one of them. If this is your first time, don't you worry. We put a generous amount of lube on it to make sure it slips in nice and easy. Once the tube is secured, we hook it up to a machine that'll help you breathe. You might have heard of it. It's called a ventilator. To make sure you don't accidentally wake up and freak out, we pump your bloodstream full of medications to make sure you stay asleep. Intubations happen for many reasons. Heart attacks, overdoses, infections. Whatever the case may be, it's usually pretty serious and will earn you a one-way ticket to the ICU. Tips from the ER. Code Gray. One of the most common hospital codes used in the emergency room. A code gray means there's an abusive or combative person on the loose, and it's not always the patient. Sometimes it's the patient's crazy family members. If a code gray has ever been called on you, it means you're being a little naughty, motherfucker, and you deserve a spanking. Not by me, of course. That's gonna cost you extra, but by our trusty security guards. Hopefully by the time they show up, you come to your senses and chill out, or else you're gonna get tackled, tied down, and restrained. It usually doesn't have to get too physical, though. Something about the sight of a bunch of security guards in uniform always seems to relax a violent person in the hospital. But in my experience, security guards also come in all different shapes and sizes. So let's hope the biggest ones show up, or we may all just have to get a little workout in today. Code Gray! Tips from the ER. Code Brown. I know what some of you sick motherfuckers want this to be about, but you can shit the bed all you want. Code Brown has nothing to do with poop, unless that poop is falling from the sky. Because Code Brown means there's a severe weather warning. That's right, motherfuckers. Tornadoes, hurricanes, blizzards, floods, whatever Mother Nature decides to kick our asses with, the hospitals will have one big decision to make. Shelter in place or evacuate. If a hospital is in the direct line of a tornado, you could bet your ass they're gonna evacuate, which won't be easy. We could barely get your senile grandma up to go to the bathroom. How do you think we're gonna convince her to run away from a tornado? If a hospital decides to shelter in place, they're gonna shut down all non-essential services and elective surgeries. So your boob job is just gonna have to wait, AA. As for the ER, we're not shutting down until that tornado hits the doorstep. We're essential. We don't get paid any more than anyone else in the hospital, but when the time comes, we will be sacrificed for the greater good. Code Brown! Hello, what brought you into the ER today? I'm feeling really dizzy, like the room is spinning. I'm so sorry to hear that. Have you ever had vertigo? Oh no, I'm a Scorpio. Oh, that's a good one. What? What? I was born on Halloween. What?
I woke up and I thought my cat was in a deep sleep, so I recorded myself pranking him, and I realized he isn't waking up at all.
What the fuck? Is that a dead cat?
I started to get really scared.
Oh my god, is that real? Is this real? What do you... Dude, what the fuck? Is that a real cat? What the fuck? No, that's a real cat. What is that thing? What the fuck are you showing me? What is this? Is that a real cat?
Guess who got pranked?
What does that mean? What? Who? What do you mean? Who got pranked? Is that a real cat? What? Tips from the ER. Blood thinners. Oh no! Grandpa fell down and hit his head again. What are we gonna do? Quickly, get him to the ER and make sure to let them know that he's on blood thinners. Motherfuckers. Blood thinning medications are amazing, necessary, and very common among patients as they get older. They're used to prevent heart attacks and strokes by stopping your blood from clotting, which is incredible. But that also means that if you start bleeding somewhere where you're not supposed to, you won't stop bleeding. That's right, motherfuckers! You're gonna leak blood faster and more efficiently than a 21-year-old on her time of the month. And that's why we need to know when Grandpa's on blood thinners, because even a minor accident can be fatal for someone on blood thinners. Normally, when someone gets hit in the stomach, they may just bruise and cry. But if someone on blood thinners gets hit in the stomach, they may bruise, cry, bleed out, and die. So make sure to let us know.
I don't have a boyfriend and I don't want it. And if I want one, I could have 4 or 5 of them if I want. But I don't want to associate with nobody.
Hey, motherfucker! I love you. Hi, sir. So we have some good news, some bad news, and unfortunately, some worse news. Which would you like to hear first? Oh my god. I don't know. Let's start with the worst news. The worst news is there is no good news. What? You're not gonna make it. But, I'm sorry. Why would you? Tips from the ER. Burns. 3rd degree. It's what happens when you do too much heroin and fall asleep to an apartment full of lit candles. One candle slips and everything in your apartment goes up in flames, including you. But you don't have the senses to wake up. You're too zonked out on heroin. Now you're laying in the ER with a stomach so burnt it feels more like a door than human skin. Is that a real story? Who knows? But a 3rd degree burn, there's not much you can do at home. Get your ass to the ER hospital ASAP and hope that hospital is an official burn center. If not, they'll likely transfer you to one because not all hospitals are equipped to deal with serious burns, motherfuckers. If the burn starts to affect your breathing and circulation, because your skin is so charred up it can't expand, they'll have to do something called an escharotomy. That's when they cut into your dead skin just a little bit to release the pressure. The good news is, at that point, your skin is probably so burnt it won't have any nerve endings or pain receptors left to even feel anything. Tips from the ER. Shaving down under. It's always a pain getting ready for a first date. You haven't been with anyone in years, and you want to make sure everything downstairs looks presentable in case things get a little frisky tonight. You go to the bathrooms to start shaving the goods, and you cut yourself. Now you're sitting in the ER waiting room, bleeding all over the chairs, wondering how you're gonna die alone. Luckily, this doesn't have to be you, motherfuckers! With the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Get the best technology ball shaving has to offer, complete with LED spotlight, and it's waterproof, so you never have to miss a date again. I just used it, and I feel great. Hi, ma'am. So sorry to bother you, but we need to recheck your blood pressure. You know, you remind me of my 3rd husband. 3rd husband? Wow. I'm flattered. How many have you had? 2. Hello, what brought you into the ER today? I'm vaccinated. Okay, so how can we help you? I have my vaccine card here if you need it. That's great, but what is your emergency? I got my 2nd dose 2 weeks ago, so I'm good. Pfizer. Did you need help with anything? Oh no, I'm vaccinated.
I'm surfing past the shallow water. Maybe I'll be searching something they can't offer. I'm surfing just